Hey everybody! Today we're going to be taking a look at two painting techniques, wet on wet and dry brush. I applied these techniques when I was painting my animal eye. I've been able to create better textures and patterns by using these techniques. Okay, let's get started.
Okay, the materials you're going to need for this project are tempera paint, and I'm working with red, yellow, blue, and some black and white. Some paint brushes, small, medium, and large, some thick paper for painting on, a water bowl, some paper towel for blotting your brush, and a palette. Okay, so let's pour out just a little bit of the paint so that we can get started mixing up some colors. We're going to first start with dry brush, and that's when paint is applied to the dry surface. Your brush has paint on it, but it's not really wet. The paper's not wet, and you're applying dry paint on top of dry paint. This is great for when you want to create textures and patterns. Next up, we have wet on wet, and that's when wet layers of paint are applied to the top of other wet layers. And this helps for mixing and blending paints. So if you have, if you want to create some different variations in your colors, then this is perfect for that. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to apply these techniques in, I'm painting this bird eye that I've been working on. So first I applied some blue, and then I applied the wet on wet technique to blend in that little lighter blue area, and then added some more blue to the edges to create a darker blue area. So this gives me different values of the paint. And I just continue on. I'm going to be using some dry brush techniques, so I want the paint to be dry, and I'm applying this base coat of this tan color, and then later I'll go back and I'll add some other paint on top to create the textures for the feathers. Alright, so here I'm going to be doing some wet on wet, and you can see that I'm not blending it in completely because I want to leave some of these textures again, because this is a feathers, and I'm going to let that dry now and then go back and apply more textures with the dry brush technique. Alright, so you can see that my paint is now dry, and so I'm just going back and putting some of that dry brush technique that I talked about on top of that layer so that it gives it more of the texture that's around the eye. And now I'm going to use a bigger brush and some more dry brush techniques to create these feather-like textures that extend from the eye. And I'm just going to continue with that until I'm satisfied with the way that it looks, and there you go. Alright, so I'm just about finished here, and here is the finished product. Wet on wet and dry brush techniques. I hope you enjoy, have fun, be creative. Ciao, ciao for now. Bye!